I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the charity drive. We're outside. I just realized, Rai, you need to bring us the speaker. Or we're not going to hear donations. We need a speaker, or we won't hear donations. Yeah. Yeah. So we are outside at the Hyper House. I'm here with Chris West, which you guys may remember from last year's charity drive, and we're going to give you a little update on why you should be contributing and why Halo is so awesome and all that good stuff. So
cool.
Welcome.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah,
super
welcome
glad
back.
to be here. You know what's so great is that it's a better location down here in LA than Seattle. I mean, it's great. Both places are amazing, but it's a little bit nicer weather, right?
Yes, it's nicer weather. We still have a lot of people up in Seattle
Right.
streaming this weekend from another nice studio that you haven't seen yet, because we're now at Penny Arcade in Seattle. So it's a whole different studio. Everything's upgraded. It's great. It's all good.
All I meant to say was for sure the weather is a little bit different.
Yeah, because you're from the Pacific Northwest,
I'm
right?
from Portland, so
yeah.
it's been
So
nothing
this
but
is nice
gray
and
all-
warm and
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I really want to take a moment, you guys, to talk about Halo. The best way to talk about Halo is simply to describe the way it started, because it's why I'm involved. It's what inspired Zach to get involved a number of years ago. And basically, we all look around the world, and it's so rare that we think we can change anything. The founder, whose name is Rebecca, she was on a trip to Honduras, and this little girl who was 6 years old, her name was Daisy, she came up to her on the street and she asked her for some water, and she was like just super malnourished and like had holes in her at the bottom of her feet, and her hair was falling out, and Rebecca was just kind of like blown away that a 6-year-old could be living on the streets like that, and decided like, I can change this. And so she came back and did a really cool fundraiser, started an entire home, and then has been just doing that ever since. So the whole idea is
Can you
just
run that into the?
the whole idea
What?
is just that one kid. Do I have? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Sorry, we're having some audio issues
No
there.
worries. But just since the beginning, it's been like you can help one kid, and that's been the goal from the beginning. So now we're running 21 homes around the world, but we're always just focused on like one more kid that can get off the street. So it started with Daisy, and then it's just gone from other kids. And I used to live in Uganda, Africa, and met Rebecca after, and it was sort of the same idea. It was just like, when you look at everything in the world as a whole, it's hard to say that we can make a difference, but every single time that we can take in one more kid and provide a whole new family for one more kid, that's the goal. And so that's why we're doing the drive the way we are. Basically, it costs us about $5 a day to take care of a kid. And so we're trying to get 100 new kids being taken care of. And that's simply just you thinking about $5 a day. I don't know how you're thinking about like this 48-hour thing. I hope you stay with us for the whole time, but I'd love for you to do something. I'd love for you to like at least set aside like $75 or $150 to use for 48 hours, and just like throw $5 at a time at different activities, at different things that are really fun, because every single time you do $5, we have another day that we can take care of a kid. That adds up to about $1,500 a year, and that's how we do this. It's literally just like one kid at a time, instead of seeing this whole world like there's just too many kids, we can't help them all. It's like, screw it, we'll help one kid at a time. That's the idea.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm really excited to do this year, because I know last year, after we raised the money, you went to Uganda, right?
Yeah, I go there every year, so yeah.
And came back and showed us videos of what was actually able to be achieved with the money we made last year. Do you want to share with everyone like where the money last year went and exactly what everyone did? Because I think that's my favorite thing about working with you guys. I was telling people, I've worked with other large charities, and they're great. They're really good. But when you hand them a check, that's the end of it. You hand them a check. You have no idea how you helped, where the money went. And a lot of those organizations are kind of set up in a way where they wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. It goes into a pile, and that's where it goes. You guys were able to say, you did this. This is what you did. Do you want to share with everybody what that was?
For sure. And you know, like we all know, like every charity is doing amazing work, but what's really fun and unique about the way we're doing it is, for one, we're an 80-20 organization. So basically right now, 87% of all funding that comes in goes directly to taking care of kids, which just is like 13% for just our admin of just having enough people to do this work. So it goes directly to kids. And last year, with your help, we raised $62,000, and we were able to open up an entirely new home as a result of it. And then we were able to provide a bunch of scholarships to kids. So what's so great is that after kids come through our homes, if they just get a family and then they were just at 18, like see you later, they would really not have much of a future. And so we actually help them with scholarships. So as a result, we'll share these stories throughout the whole weekend. But like a lot of kids went into auto mechanic programs, they went into barber programs, and several of them went to university. So we were able to provide a bunch of new scholarships for kids to go to university, to go to trade programs, and we'll be able to share a lot of the stories with you throughout the weekend. But every single, everything that we raise this weekend is going to go directly to affecting one kid at a time. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun to come back up. I think it was November and share the pictures of the home that we were able to
move the kids into. Again, that makes it really real for us. It makes it it gives it weight, and and I think that's something that's really important for you guys. So that's part of why we set this one up this way. $1,500 to support a child for an entire year is not very much money when you really think about it. When you really break it down, $1,500 to know you provided a young individual with education, housing, and food for an entire year is just, it's not that much money. I mean, it is, but it isn't, And thank you, Wallen84, just tipped $5.
Nice.
Thank you for that.
It's literally just $5 at a time.
Yeah, like it goes such a long way. It's a really important cause, and at the end of the day, it makes you feel good too. It's a really great thing to know you're positively affecting someone's life that much with one small action. That I need it for my psyche, like at least once a year to do something for other people and not for myself. Like just to know that if everyone did that, if everyone kind of broke out of their shells and stopped thinking about themselves for one day and focused on helping someone else, boy, things would be pretty great.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to do that.
And did you want to talk about what we're going to do this year with the money?
Go for it.
Yeah. So basically the most need that we have right now is our international programs in Kenya. Most of you guys know, like South Sudan and a lot of places in Eastern Africa are experiencing drought, and one of the biggest areas of the needs that we have is a lot of the homes that we're running for kids in Kenya. One, we want to take more kids into the home, which is why we need just the additional ability to do that. But then a lot of the homes that we were able to start working with, basically the way the Halo Foundation works is that we go into countries, we find the organizations that are serving kids in the most need, and then we partner with them to then give them the ability to do it better. And so in Kenya right now, we have some amazing homes, but they're like falling apart. So
right.
there's very little, there's no, toilets is really an issue, and a lot of them have just been crumbling. So we really need to do some infrastructure and actually get homes to be a place that kids can feel safe and actually be really getting the help that we long to give. And so right now we're able to do the emotional side, but the physical structures is what the need is. So that's where a majority of the money is going this year, is to our international programs and to the homes that we're
oh, sweet. Small Fry 417 and Mollydale both tipped. Small Fry says, love Hyper RPG and love what Halo Foundation does. Happy to donate what I can. Mal says, got paid. Let's get some kids off the street. Thank you both for that. Really do appreciate it.
And I don't know, I'm just wondering, I don't know if any of you guys have been going through this last few months, but with everything going on in Syria, with things going on in Sudan, I just get to this point where I'm going through my Facebook feed and it feels like you can't do anything. The coolest thing is that why you and I think both really love what Rebecca was doing and joined her in it is that the founder of Halo, basically she's just this badass chick who...
Oh, I respect so much when I meet somebody who's like, I saw this thing and I was like, I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the tip.
Dude, nice work.
That's paid. Let's get some kids off the street.
There's Mal's tip. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so she just decided, screw it. There's kids on the street and they're living on a box. There was 11 of them when she met Daisy. And she was like, this is hundreds of miles from my air-conditioned house. Can we swear on
Yeah,
Twitch?
you're fine.
She was like, fuck it, let me just let me just make something happen. And I think most of us just sit back and like, there's just too much we can't do. And I don't know, like to me, that's the kind of energy we need, is just like, screw it, let's just like help. Which is what I love about Halo, and that's how it started. And then, you know, many years later, now we're helping kids throughout the world. We're just still doing it the same thing. The whole goal is like all throughout the office, every part of us is just like one more kid that spends one less day on the street. Like that's the goal. That's how we do everything. Instead of thinking about things on like a really large
The grand scale's
scale,
pretty overwhelming.
it just doesn't work.
Super overwhelming.
And so yeah, that's what we're doing this weekend, is like we just were talking with Hyper RPG and talking about what's the most impact we can have, and we broke it down to, okay, well, what does it cost us to take care of a kid for a day? Let's just try to take care of 100 new kids.
Which is a huge impact. That's a huge impact.
Yeah.
That's more people than were in my graduating class in high school.
Where'd you go?
A small school, very small. So just so you guys know, we're getting set up in the other room for the next segment, which is going to be party gaming with friends, which is probably going to be one of the only times where it's just party gaming throughout the whole weekend. The rest of the weekend, we've got a crazy schedule of show after show after show after event. Now tomorrow night, even though it's not party gaming, it's going to be absolutely nuts. We've got like 3 hours of improv comedians coming out. If he's going to fight a gorilla, apparently. So that will happen. Thank you, Fractal Eye, for that tip. And I saw 4Uggs up there. Thank you for your tip as well. That's really great.
106 in lesson carrying's class. Do they have any questions about Halo?
Do you guys have questions in the chat? Please let us know. I know some people are asking, like, is this tax deductible? Yes. If you live in the United States and you tip, Halo will have your email address and will follow up with a form with you. There will be a record they will have of every single amount that was tipped and the email address of who made the tip. It's 100% going to Halo. None of it goes through HyperRPG at all. We are completely hands off of all this. When you tip through or donate through our Streamlabs page, it's going to their PayPal address, so they have all the records and all the information.
Yeah, for sure. At some point this weekend, are you gonna? And I know most people who have subscribed know your story. Are you gonna talk a little bit about how you got involved in Halo?
I started working with Halo in 2008. And I heard about it through like an ad in Pitch, Kansas City or something like that. And I was really attracted to the fact that it was kind of non-denominational and was about art therapy. Because at the time I was getting my master's in painting, and that really interested me. So I went to a couple meetings and got really into it, and then started helping with some film type stuff. And then actually traveled to Nicaragua to help set up a computer network and do some art therapy with kids down there. And it was great. I mean, it's every single thing I've ever done with Halo was extremely fulfilling, but also I respect so much how the organization is run. I've been around enough to see how other organizations are run, and sometimes I find it very difficult for me to be comfortable working with them, in the sense that there's expenses that seem over the top.
Way over the top.
And I've always been a huge fan of how Halo is not flashy in any way whatsoever. At the end of the day, it's about helping people as much as possible, and very modest offices, very modest lifestyle, and you know that your money's going to a really good place.
Yeah, and like I think it's worth talking about that one point where Zach was talking about like art therapy and things. So basically our goal is just like housing, healing, and education. So we first want to get kids into houses and feeling safe and feeling a part of a family. All the things you would normally experience from family, like love and support, like those are the main things that kids don't have when they're on the street. So that's our primary thing, is to get them into a home, to feeling safe, to feeling like they have a family. But then it's really hard for kids who've dealt with trauma all their life to then just be totally fine. And so a lot of cultures, including our own, don't really have good ways of like dealing with that. And we found really quick that if we had kids do art projects where they could talk about, like, through an art project, like we could do a project where we could say, like, who's someone you love the most? Or, like, where's the place you feel happiest? The kids would often, like, draw the opposite. They would draw, like, where they don't feel happy, or, like, the person that they miss the most. And then they finally were able to talk about it by showing their artwork. And then you ask them about the artwork, not about their personal life, and they'll just tell you all of these things. It's like watching all of this like sadness come up out of them and a way to get it out because it has to stay in you somewhere. So the healing part is huge, and that's where we do a lot of the therapeutic art.
Holy shit. Gwithern just tipped $250. Here's a little bit from Gwith and Tink. Sorry that we can't do more now. No, that's a lot to help. That's a whole lot to help. Thank you so much. Guys, we're still giving away Steam keys in the chat room. So be active. Every $100 raised, we're giving away a digital code. Every kid that's sponsored, we're doing away a physical box of giveaway. The Yojimbot will update you every once in a while on what the next giveaway is in the chat room. We may miss the sync on... I got to talk to these dum-dums about how they set up the speaker. It's not correct, so we might miss the donation sound at the right time when it happens in there. So thank you guys so much for your contribution. I saw there were a couple other people that tipped right before that.
Yeah, almost a third kid. That's totally right.
That's what feels so good. I really like that we're doing it this way because you know, it's like you're like, okay, it's only like, it's only like $400 more to get one more child off the streets. Like, I can do that. you know, like. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
Evassal just tipped $20 for the kids.
Here's
Thank you,
a little
Evassal.
bit from GWTH and Tank. Sorry, we can't do more to help.
Very nice. Yeah, and just to keep going, you guys, just to finish it off, so it's like housing, healing, and then education. And obviously the best thing you can do is just like empower kids to actually know what they can do. And then, so this is what's so crazy. When you go like this your whole life, you don't think you have anything to contribute because you've used to been taking. But when you teach kids that they have something to contribute and then you give them education and show them they can, they actually like the way that they feel empowered to give back is what's so cool. So the education is a huge part. We provide really good education all the way through high school, and then we give scholarships one at a time for kids to go into either a trade program or to the university. And I know, like, for example, the home that I used to work at in Uganda and that I do the work with Halo right now, we have a kid right now who's...
Thank you, Lady Red 777. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah, we have kids who, one's an electrical engineering program at university. One is, right now, he actually became a bank manager after studying, and he is one of the donors to the home now. He used to be in the home, and now he's a bank manager and actually gives to the home. So yeah, we want to take kids from start to finish and actually empower them to live beyond what they, not just take care of them, but actually start a new life. So that's, it's the housing, healing, and education is basically our core goal.
It's awesome, man. Now, just to be clear for people, Halo helps people not just overseas as well. There's a domestic program as well. Do you want to talk about that at all? Because I know a lot of people have been asking about that.
Yeah, so we have some incredible programs here. So we do a lot of work in transitional housing. There was a really need for homes for women who are either young and are teenager mothers or have experienced abuse or whatever, and they need a place and they don't have anywhere to go. So we actually do housing, transitional housing that could be up to a year to 2 years for young women and single mothers. And then we have some amazing facilities that does a lot of at-risk youth art therapy programs. So every single week there's hours and hours of programs going on for kids who have been living on the streets and are finding a way into shelters, but then there's not much the shelters can do because they're overwhelmed. And so Halo takes care of all the emotional wellness of the kids. And we basically follow this 12-month plan around the things that make up a really healthy life. So we're in April this month, and in April it's all about time management. And it's little things, but to know how to manage your time so you can find a job and show up on time, or just be aware of certain things like that. When you've been living on the streets, time management, it doesn't exist for you. So there's, everything's broken into 12 months, and we have several facilities in Kansas City, Jefferson City, Missouri, and we have programs in LA, in New York, in Portland, and we do a lot of the work that organizations are overwhelmed in doing. So they're providing some of the main get kids off the street, and we didn't see that as much of a need in the US as it is internationally. So a lot of the work we do in the US is really, really focused on providing the emotional healing that needs to happen.
Can you tell Ms. Cashew in the chat room where the US-based Halo programs are?
Yeah, so our main work, since was founded in Kansas City, Missouri, We have 2 programs there, and we have 2 in Jefferson City. And then, like I said, we have some that we do in Portland, Oregon, which is where I live, and New York. And there's actually some work that we do on the USC through the USC campus in LA.
Nice. Small Fry says they're in Portland if there's anything they can do to help.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Hey, Small Fry, enjoy the weather for me up there today. I'm pretty happy that I'm down in LA today.
So guys, coming up next, like I said, we're gonna have some party games. Thank you guys for your tips and your donations.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of
Just
course.
I'm gonna say this all weekend, but I would love for you guys to think about doing just think about increments of 5 and see if you can set aside like $20 or $50 or like 75, anything that adds up to 5, and just like give 5 at a time throughout the weekend to like really fun games or at times where you really want someone to do something. Everything happens by each person giving just a little bit, and we don't have to think like huge grandiose stuff. We just need to like take care of one kid one day at a time, and that breaks down to just about $5. We round it up, but it's literally $150, $1,500 a year. So feel free to do the math, and it's about $5 a day. That we're just thinking one kid at a time this whole
Great
weekend.
cause with great people. Keep being amazing, everyone less than 3.
Thank
Nice.
you. And I'll make sure those alerts work when I get back inside. I'll fix all that stuff. Waiting to hear if they're ready in there. What's the update? Since no one's answering their messages.
What are you guys all doing today? Are you at work?
How are we looking in there?
How are you on this chat
2
room
minutes?
at Friday? Are people at work right now? How are people?
Yeah, a
on
lot of
this?
people are at work. We have people watching in a bunch of different time zones.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
people may already be off work. Some people might be overseas. Binky just tipped $50.
Wow, Binky!
I was lucky enough to win one of the art books on last year's charity
You're
stream, and it's wonderful to look at. Thank you, Chris and Hyper RPG, for the wonderful work.
Thank you.
And that donation will
Thank
awkwardly
you.
come in like 2 minutes later over there. Some people are in Germany.
I'm
East
working.
Coast,
No
UK.
class for me today. It's evening in Germany. Dude, that's so awesome here in Germany.
So guys, we have a crazy 48 hours. You know what? I'm going to read out some of the stuff we have going on this weekend for all the new viewers that are tuning in. I'll give you a little update. Let me pull up our
So
schedule
on
here.
computer all day. That's so awesome. This is fun. Finishing my workday in New Jersey. It's like 3:20 here in Missouri. That's awesome.
All right, so you guys want to hear what's going on next? We've got Matt Acevedo, Orion Akaba, Cat Sky, Akeem Lawinson, Matt Haley, who is an artist for Valiant Comic Books and Wonder Woman and a bunch of other stuff, is going to be here doing some live art, Zombie Unicorn, Lexus, Hugh Morlock, Michelle Chubby Bunny, and Chris Bramante are all going to be playing games together. So we're going to have some rotating people coming in and out, having a great time. And then at 4:30, we're doing a special version of ER/VR, our ER and virtual reality show
Nice.
with Ashley Escueda is our guest. Steph Woodburn is our guest host with Iffy Wadiway. And then tonight we've got Death from Above, our Battletech RPG. It's going to be a 8-person battle. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be huge. I don't know how they're going to fit everyone on the screen, but they're doing a special show just for the charity drive. Then we've got a very special episode of Pencils and Parsecs tonight with our Star Wars Edge of the Empire RPG with special guest Dan Casey, Keith Silverstein, who you all probably know as Tourborn on Overwatch, is one of the cast members on that. Erica Lindbeck is also on that show. Yep, there's that really awkward delay on that. Rabid Wombat just tipped $250.
No
I
way.
was
Thank you
lucky
so much.
enough to win one of the art books on last year's charity stream, and it is
Nice.
wonderful to look at. Thank you, Chris and Hyper RPG, for the wonderful work.
Can you just unplug that because it's set up incorrectly and it's just super awkward. Then we've got the OVA Anime RPG at 12:30 a.m. Claudia's GMing that with Jessica Marzipan as a player, Tyler Carpenter, Drunkly Romantic, Lauren Bond, and Dan Posland. We have a script reading of Surf Ninjas later into tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
Surf Ninjas?
Yeah, the movie Surf Ninjas. It's going to be a really good time.
Movie.
It's great. And
Some
then we have
people think it's located here. Those people would be wrong.
Yep.
All right.
It's all over the place. That movie is great. Everyone is John, the RPG, is going to be tomorrow morning as well. Instead of All Out of Bubblegum, where you kick ass and chew bubblegum, we're going to do kick ass and chew peppers. I will be on that one. Then we've got Team Team Ripley Improv performing tomorrow, a nerdy all-female improv group. Secret Hitler with Allison Hayslip, Jason Inman, Ashley Robinson, Ricky Hayberg, the number one Alice, Kara Corvus, Elliot Dewberry. We got Masters of the Metaverse, our improv RPG show. A very short but special episode of Krillin' It Super. Blue Rose Tabletop RPG up in Seattle, GM by Chris Bramas from Green Ronin Publishing. Then we've got a whole bunch of improv and party games happening Saturday night. That's going to be absolutely crazy. And then we've got our Iffy Battling a Gorilla. And then we've got Raw Data Co-op from the guys with Servios are coming by. Then we've got the Ruins of Saban D&D 5th edition with Firecrow GMing, Viking Lass, Domestic Dan, Goobers, and Blue Jay all playing. Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball Tournament with Keller and Hector. One Piece RPG from Matt Acevedo, Orion Akaba, Emma Fife, Iffy Wadiwe, Malika Lim. Then we've got Weekly Affirmations with Strix, Sally Jordan, Drunkly Romantic, Jim Stewart, and Ryan Hartman from the C Team, and Emily Gittleman. Actually, I think, is Mitch on that too? He might be. I don't know. And then we're ending off the very end of the 48 hours with Just Dance and Rock Band Party. This is a huge schedule.
Not only that,
It's nuts. There's so much stuff going on.
half of the time people are going to be delirious from no sleep.
Of course. Of course. We're trying to schedule it out in a way where we can get some naps in there. We'll see.
I tried to we went to the grocery store this afternoon. I tried to get lots of things that were green so that at least we'd have some healthy food, but most of it's it's going to be nuts.
I'm going to eat whenever I can, whatever I can. As long as it's dairy free. I'm just going to take it in. All right, how are we looking in there? We good?
Yeah, there'll be no more coffee needed today.
Right?
No, there will be, for sure.
All right, I'm going to throw it over to the guys in the other room.
Thank you, guys.
They're going to do some group gaming. So thank you guys so much. Stick around. We have a crazy 48 hours. It's going to be absolutely nuts. Couple hours in, 3 kids already.
Yes,
The
let's
thing
do
is,
it. Yeah.
here's the thing. We've already got 3 kids, but we're almost 3 hours into this. To get 100 kids off the street, we got to double that. We got to be doing 2 kids an hour.
Right.
We got to double that. We got to get moving. We got to get moving. There's only 48 hours in this event. There's not 100 hours.
And
there's only 48.
And seriously, just keep thinking about it $5 at a time. It's literally $5 at a time. We don't have to go nuts, and we don't have to think about things on a huge level.
Every single viewer gave $5, would be in a good place. Every single viewer that came in, which isn't going to happen, but if every viewer even just gave $1 that came in, $1 by the end of this event, we'd be there.
Yeah.
We'd be there. I keep forgetting to mention that there's this thing that's happening. If we hit our goal, I'm getting a tattoo on the air.
Woo, really?
I keep forgetting to bring that up.
That's awesome. Oh, and
I keep forgetting.
remember last year we got Rebecca to get her face painted by the kids. She said she's still up for whatever, so we might
Maybe
have
she
to-
wants to get a tattoo too.
She might, for 150,000, and she's so passionate about kids. I don't know, she might.
Yeah. Yeah, so the tattoo I will be getting is it's Vegeta with a mustache on my leg, live on the air, because this idea came about from our Dragon Ball after show. So, great, guys, stick around. Let's do some fun video games for the next couple hours.